So welcome to Rediscovered, my Let's Build series for the game Vintage Story, which is a survival builder that kind of started as a Minecraft mod and has since become its own engine, its own game. It is beautiful, fairly unforgiving, and perhaps the coziest game I've ever played. But anyhow, in previous episodes, we survived, we built shelter, and slowly but surely we've been working our way toward the ability to find and mine copper, and then that would bring us out of the Stone Age and into the Metal Ages, the Copper Age specifically, and that's where we're at. We finally did that. Last episode, we took our new copper pick, we got a bunch of copper ore, and now we're primed for the next stage of the game. This is where everything opens up. So the goal of today's episode is to make an anvil, right? Because what I've done so far is I was able to melt the copper ore over a campfire of all things, and yeah, I was going to say, it's still loud. Okay, so I need to close up that hole. Oh my. Okay, so the bush meat is about to turn, which is good. We're on our way to greener pastures, literally. Okay, so the goal of this episode is to build an anvil, right? So we're in the Metal Ages, but there's only so much you can do by melting and pouring, which is called casting, and or the next step is forging. That opens up all the really, really useful tools. So that's what we're going to go for. Meanwhile, I had been using, since I had so much copper, I figured I would go ahead and use a pick to finish excavating our lower levels of our house, our fortified house, and that's going well. And it's given me all sorts of new material that we can then use to build limestone, cobblestone, and that will be the walls. So we're in pretty good shape. You can see I got most of the floor leveled, and even some of it set up with the what is it? Is that rammed earth? That we will go ahead and use. So I just want to make sure I can get into and out of this little walled pit I've been digging myself into. So, yeah, there's just, now that we have copper picks, and we have access to copper for a while, there's just, one of the problems we had before was that as a survival game, there's a lot of things you need to do to keep breathing, and there's a lot of things that you need to do to take you to the next step, and you've pretty much got to do it all now, which means you can't do it all now, but you do it in like little waves, right? You do a little farming, you do a little mining, you do a little building. Well, and that's like the dance you dance. That's the game, right? And in truth, that is what survival's all about as well. But now, the dance has gotten more complicated because there's so many more things I could be and should be doing, right? So, gosh, never a dull moment, right? And of course, all of this on the backdrop that, just like in real survival, we live in a world with seasons, and some seasons are harsher than others. Now, I say that because, obviously winter can be bad news, right? Food's scarce, it's really freaking cold, and the environment outside, besides being cold, may be just simply hard to get through. But That being said, this is summer, which in theory is probably one of the easier seasons to make it through. Except it's been pouring rain pretty much all day yesterday, and it's morning in a new day, and it's still raining. And I think I even mentioned this in the last episode when I did my original play testing on this game. When I reached summer in July, which that's what this is, there were days that it just rained all day, right? And it seems like that's how it works. So, but it's a survival game. There's certainly stuff I can do, but I can't really afford to stay all day indoors. I need to make the most of daylight while I got it. So even knowing it is raining, I'm out here chipping away. It could be worse. It could be storming, right? And lightning, thunder. The thunder is bad if you're a dog or a veteran, but the lightning is a problem, especially if you're outdoors and running around with a copper pick in the rain. You're just begging to get zapped. And let's face it, whether in-game or in real life, getting hit with lightning isn't necessarily fatal, but it's a non-trivial chance that it's fatal, and even if you do survive it, you're not going to enjoy the experience, right? There's nothing pleasant about it, I'm sure. I'm not speaking from first-hand experience, but it doesn't take a lot of imagination to kind of imagine what it could be like. And in my original playtest, I did get hit by lightning in the game. I did survive, barely. The thing is I was out in my little raft on a lake, and got hit with lightning. Which, if you stop and think about it, it's just screaming into nature, "Come hit me!" and they did. So technically, I got what I deserved. A little wiser for the experience, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you have to brave the elements, even though it's not technically the safest or perhaps wisest thing to do. It might be just necessary. And I need to free up some inventory here. I do need to get like leather backpacks, swap them out with these little straw baskets I've got in my inventory, and I'll be able to carry much more. The problem is to make the leather backpacks, there's a hunter's backpack too, which is an intermediary step, and I think I just skipped straight to leather, but you got to make leather. And just like everything else in this game, this isn't Minecraft. It's not like kill an animal, you got leather, run, go make stuff with it. This is vintage story. You kill an animal, you have a hide, and you can treat the hide to become a pelt, which is a fur, but to make leather, you actually have to go through the whole tanning process, right? So we'll have multiple barrels set up with water and tannin in them. There's a weak tanning solution that you soak in, and then that allows you to scrape the hair off the hide. Then there's a stronger tanning solution that you put the scraped hide in that will actually tan it. And both of those things take time, right? You got to put them in the barrel, seal the barrel, and let it soak for time to come up with leather. So it's not impossible, but when we're talking about soaking stuff, put these here and get them on my inventory. That should help. You got to soak them in something, and that's where I would have been doing this a long time ago, but I need barrels, and barrels need planks, stabs basically, and I can't make boards or planks without a saw. There we go. I can't make a saw out of flint. I have to make it out of metal, and I can't just cast it, which, interestingly enough, I would have thought was one of the things you probably could have cast. But no, I'm going to have to forge a saw. So, that's That's one of the first tools I want to make once we get to that point. But before you can forge something, right? Forging something would be, you know, building a forge where we can heat stuff up, and you're not going to do that at the campfire. And then you throw it on an anvil to kind of pound the snot of it out of it until it's the shape you want, right? So an anvil's necessary, and like I said, that's what we're after today. Now, the other side of the whole anvil equation is that anvil is something I can cast. So, you know, I built the mold for it. Now we just need to smelt a mess of copper. I mean, a mess. I don't know off the top of my head how many hundreds of units of copper it requires. Remember, it's 100 units of copper to make a tool. And I know it's over 500, right? Now, whether it's 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, I don't know. It's somewhere in there. But it's over 500. And that's a lot of copper. And, but it's going to be worth it. We'll have to do that. And I figure I'll do that in the middle of the night. Because, you know, like I said, I got to make the most of daylight while I can. So I could be in there forging an anvil. Not forging, casting an anvil right this second. But with the daylight, I can go out here and do this stuff. And this stuff needs to be done. Creature or players in the way? Specifically, it's me, so I guess players in the way. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Now, one of the first things we did when we started clearing this area last episode is I used the prospector's pick to get a reading. And what that does is it basically tells you what minerals are in the area and relative strengths of those minerals. And the relative strengths are interesting because if you see a given mineral at a low level, at a low strength, you're like, well, it either means that the mineral is far away or there's just not that much of it. Now, you don't know which, right? You got to, using the prospector pick gave me a data point, but a single data point by itself isn't all that useful. So, at some point in the near future, probably when the weather lets up a bit, we'll be going mobile with the prospector pick, and we will be looking to collect some more data points, and then you can kind of triangulate. So if you have like 3 points in a line, and on the first point it said, you know, hey, there's trace amounts of copper, but then at the other end of the line it's saying, ooh, there's oodles of copper, and in between it said there's medium amount of copper. You can see that it's not a matter of how much copper, but rather how close you were. But if I have a bunch of data points, you know, I have one data point that says there's a little bit of iron, or a little bit of copper, let's go with that one. And then I take data points all around it, and they all say there's just a little bit. Well, that means there is just a little bit. And then it's kind of trickier to figure out exactly where that little bit is. But anyway, that's all. It sounds incredibly nerdy and intensive, and I guess it kind of is. But surprisingly, it's fun. And we will get into all of that. But like I said, in the meanwhile, I am trying to build, because, you know, the name of the game, or the name of the channel, is Worldbuilder, right? Not World Getting Soaking Wet, or World, you know, Killer, or whatever. The World Killer is kind of has a cool ring to it. It's not my style, but, you know, it is what it is. And very nice. Anyway, you know, the building's important. This is, you know, I've talked a little bit in the past, not necessarily in this series, I don't know if it was this series or not, but I've talked a bit in the past about, you know, I'm an old guy, and I was playing video games pretty much since they've come out, and it's interesting, right? I mean, just back in the old days, video games, we didn't really have the genres that we do now. I mean, they were coming out with new stuff, and there was a lot of experimentation. I mean, it was just new, right? And there were far fewer games coming out, so you could play them all, and I did, right? And eventually they developed into the genres we know now, and I don't think there's any genre I don't like. I mean, even horror, I'm not thrilled with horror, but there are some good horror games that I enjoyed, right? So that's probably the closest to not liking a genre. But back in the days of Doom, then Quake, and then Duke Nukem and stuff, I was real big in the first-person shooters and stuff. But my mainstay for years and years and years were city builders, right, like SimCity and such, and 4X games. 4X, which is, I believe, stands for Explore, Exploit, and there's another X, and then there's Exterminate, right, which is things like Civilization. Those are 4X games. So those were my mainstays and stuff. With the advent of Minecraft, that's a whole new genre, and I was kind of slow to come to the Minecraft table because a couple things happened. One, when I got married for a long time, my wife didn't want me playing video games. She didn't outright forbid it. It's just that I got a lot of grief when I did play, which made it so that I didn't want to play, and that essentially killed it. But that started to go away about the same time that Minecraft came out, and of course by then I'm an old guy, right? So I was not quite as old then, but I was in my 40s, and I'm like, and of course when it came out, it was really was a sensation with kids, right? So I'm like, it's a kids game. But a couple years later, I did get into it. And in my very first episode on this channel, I explained that because, I was getting more and more back into games. And, of course, I had been out for like a decade. The games landscape had changed. And I was the father of twins. And my twins were toddlers about to become slightly more than toddlers. And I was looking for a good game for them. And that's when I started exploring Minecraft. And, of course, it was a great game for them, and one of them still plays occasionally to this day. But it was a great game for me. And that's when I became a Minecraft convert. But, that was over a decade ago. That was like, I came to Minecraft like a couple years after it came out. So, well, it's still over a decade ago. But, then that's kind of when I found my true video game desire, right? It's like, I'll still play a first-person shooter or something every once in a while, but I really don't buy new ones, and they don't bring me the same sense of satisfaction and fun these builders do, right? So I was, if I convert, there we go. So they stack. And that makes them the same as the ones I had before. And I need a whole lot more of this rammed earth stuff. So let's just grab it. Anyway, it's the building is really where it's at. I mean, there's another type of building that I'm a big fan of too, and that is building worlds for tabletop role-playing game. Not the dioramas, not for minis, but rather the building campaigns, and settings for tabletop role-playing games. I love that too, but it's different than this, right? When you're building a setting in a tabletop role-playing game, It's a lot like building the setting for like a novel, right? It's like I need to think about this world in terms of the nuts and bolts of it, right? And nuts and bolts on a strategic scale. So what is the technology level? What is the planet or world like, right? Are there different biomes? Is it all the same biome? Is it civilization? What kind of civilization? Are there different races? Is there magic? Is there technology? You know, and then those are just yes, no questions. Then you got to answer the questions as to what they are. So what I need to do is I need to figure out the floor for this level. I was going to do like a wooden floor or whatever, but my concern is that the you need these bottom levels are going to be useful as cellars, and I need them to be fully sealed. And the floor would actually be built with like wooden slabs, and I don't know if that would seal it. So for this first floor, I think I'll just go for kind of like vaulted stone ceilings. But to make vaulted stone ceilings, I need a lot of stone, not a problem. But going back to my original quandary, which is I got to have a spiral staircase. And I'm just trying to think through that, right? So, and then, no, that's not going to work because it's too big of a jump. I need like a stair piece, which I have. I'll go ahead and use a stair piece. Like that. Okay, so now that works. Okay, and then get that piece. With the stair piece in place, okay. Now this is kind of like based off of the spiral staircases I have in the Minecraft worlds. This is a flat landing, but it's too low. I can't get my noggin under there. Not enough space. So, what to do? Okay, when I first started that spiral staircase, not sterile, I had experimented with using slabs, and I didn't think it was going to work. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, I do. I still have the slabs left. So maybe we should stick with slabs. The slabs and the stairs with this particular design don't really allow you to go up or down any quicker or faster. So they do make a difference in terms of height though, right? So if I put a slab here, that gives me more space, and see, I can go up the stairs. But apparently I can't go down the stairs. Okay. So maybe I can swap out the stair piece with another slab, and maybe that will do. Oh gosh. Okay, so maybe this will allow me to go up and down. Okay, we have a winner. So let's replace all the stair pieces with slabs. And now, I think that's our design, right? That's our design to go up and down. There we go. So now we just need a mess of cobblestone to finish out that ceiling or floor for the level above. And we will have some solid cellars. Of course, I'm out of stone now. Anyway, but you know, world building for a role-playing game is very different than world building here, because here now it's more on a micro scale. I'm building stuff in a first person, and I'm experiencing the world in first person. So it's no longer like, you know, like when you're building for a tabletop role playing game, it's more like you're building like a documentary, right, of a world. And then from there, you can zoom in a little bit where you're talking about individuals and individual places, and in some cases, you have detailed maps of indoor spaces and where stuff is. But you know, you're talking entire worlds, or in the case of like a science fiction role playing game, entire solar systems or galaxies. You can't get down to this level, right? This, you know, in your face micro level. And that really seems to be where I enjoy it most. So if we're gonna smelt, let's go ahead and set it up. So let's take this off. Now let me scoop up food. There we go. Better. Step away from the fire pit so I can actually eat. Okay, now put this back. So we pick up the crucible and we swap it out with the cooking pot. Like so. And then we put our nuggets into the crucible. Now that's going to require a mess of heat. And let me move this. I'm not sure if a mold full of hot copper will set off my stacks of firewood, but the game's realistic enough, and I have enough of a question in my head that I don't want to risk it. So let's go ahead and start the fire. Okay, and let's go ahead and reset the torches while we're at it. Don't want them to burn out. Okay, so if we look at the fire, it is not going to be nearly hot enough to do what we need it to do, right? But we are in the 400s and climbing. It'll get up to 700. But when it gets close, we're going to swap out the sticks for coal and this or charcoal. And this charcoal will bring it up to 1300 degrees Celsius, which is mighty hot. And all we need is about 1080, 1090 to smelt copper. And copper is one of the higher smelting points. A lot of the other metals we could smelt using peat, which only goes to 900 Celsius. So I found some. I just haven't collected some. Maybe we'll do some of that. Useful stuff. So let's swap this, and now we are prepared. I mean, we're taxiing into position, preparing to take off here. You can see the color of the copper nuggets are changing from green to kind of an orangish, more of a reddish, and then more and more yellowish until it's glowing hot. Glowing hot as liquid. And at that point, we will start to see that arrow fill up, just like we did last episode when we made our pickaxe. So here we go. We're now filling the arrow ever so slightly. You can see it. So I put 600 units of copper in there. I'm pretty sure that won't be enough. But the great thing is you can pour it all into the anvil. And then if it's not enough, that's okay. Just pour in more later. And that's what we'll do. I'm not sure how much. Oh, well, it said 900, so there you go. So, okay. So, we're coming up on the halfway point. And, oh, good. So the bushmeat is completely gone. It's now rot. But 5 liters of rot, which is quite a bit. But that's good. That, you know, I remember the first time I was playing it, I didn't know you could use it, and stuff was rotting. And I noticed that it actually had a burning time listed. So I figured, okay, well, use it as nothing else. Use it as fuel instead of just throwing it away and waiting for it to despawn. Then you find out that, well, you put a bunch of it in a barrel and let it sit for like a month. It will become this really great compost, which you can make the best farming soil of the game. So that's what I use for bushmeat. Because, you know, the problem with bushmeat, it's fairly easy to get, but you can only cook it directly over a fire. You can't use it with a cooking pot, which means if you have access to regular cooking pot recipes and food from them, there's not much point in eating the bushmeat. And it does wind up taking a lot of space, but if you let it spoil, it makes fantastic fodder for that rot I was talking about that you can use to make compost. So that's what I use it for. Good stuff. And that is quite the storm. So it's a good storm to be in out of, you know, and it's not in out of the cold. It's definitely a warm summer storm. But okay, we are about ready. And of course, it took a lot longer for this to heat up than last time because we're heating up a lot more metal. You know, one of the things that bugs me about the Hobbit 5 Armies movie was that, you know, they fired up the dwarven forges and then they had those huge vats of gold that they were able to heat up into liquid hot gold and in minutes, in seconds even. So it's just like, that's not how it works. I mean, you know, when you're talking about the amount of gold, a chunk of gold that would fill your entire living room or your house, it would take days, weeks, maybe months to heat that much gold up to a liquid state. Now, you can make the argument it's a magical world kicked off with dragon fire and blah, blah, whatever, but it's just clearly that part was written, that wasn't in the book, so it was written by script writers that don't know anything about metallurgy. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a big expert, but I know enough to know that didn't work. It was the same thing with was it the original Star Trek 2009, right? That the reboot, the Kelvin timeline, where, you know, so they throw the. It doesn't tell how much. Interesting that you have to look at the mold to see how much metal it requires, but in the help message it doesn't tell you how much metal. Anyhow, in the new Star Trek, right, they throw the red matter in and collapse Vulcan into a black hole. Okay, which I'm not going to go either way on that one, but you know, they took Spock, the Spock Prime, and they marooned him on this other planet where he could see this happen. So, okay, this is now on a planet close enough that you could see Vulcan as a planet, not a little tiny light in the sky, and you could see it collapse, which is like almost this planet he was on is more of a moon of Vulcan than another planet. But to get there, you know, the Enterprise was moving at warp speed for several minutes away to go rejoin the system when Spock, the new Spock, basically threw Kirk off and marooned him on that same planet where Spock Prime was. So they were at warp for several minutes and they got no further than, say, a moon around Vulcan, right? Again, it was written by scriptwriters that really have no comprehension of space-time or anything like that. The same thing too with, in Star Wars they had the end of the trilogy, and the First Order had this big planet killer that was like a Death Star, but it was essentially a renovated planet. And then when that thing fired this beam, you saw people like on Coruscant and other worlds that saw this beam that then was streaking across the sky, but it was streaking across the sky like a meteor would. So you're telling me, okay, that thing's going slower than the speed of light, but for anybody to see it on other planets in essentially real time, it would have to be way, way, way faster than the speed of light. Again, guys who don't understand the distances involved in space or writing stories. I mean, it makes for maybe a gripping story, but then people who know a little bit or spend the rest of the movie thinking about this and it just bugs them. So there's the Falks. There's my anvil, and now we're good. And I even have 100 left over, which I will probably use for another pick, so that we have a spare pick, because I don't think you can have too many picks, right? The pick is what allows you to go out and get more metal. Didn't realize I put my spears in there, but it's good because I'm going to need them here shortly. Go outside. Can't spend the whole episode inside. There's daylight wasting. It's summer, so we need to make the most of it. That is still really hot. And the problem is I'm running out of material too, so I need to get more clay. I need to get some food going. So much to do. Oh. So let's go outside. It's dark, but not super dark, and it is still pouring rain. But it seems like the thunder and lightning is pretty much past. So let's go check the garden. Oh, weeds. Gotta take care of the weeds. Just like your real garden. Stuff is percolating. The cabbages are almost done. Moisture 100%, I bet. They're in the rain next to a lake. Oh, I spoke too soon. Looks like thunder and lightning are not done. But they look and feel to be a little bit distant. Oh, that's not so distant. That's it's not distant at all. Flash and bang together. Yeah, that's in the neighborhood. Let's get back into our dirt shelter here. So we will be stuck indoors for a little longer. Ooh, soft copper. So it's not quite ready to do anything with. But it's almost ready. I didn't realize I had a storage vessel there. It's empty. So let's go ahead and take the first of all, let's empty this and take everything out of it and move it closer to the forge, right? Makes sense to have all my forging stuff or my smelting stuff by the place where I'm smelting. So let's move the rot in here. Now I can pick up the storage vessel, put storage vessel down, put all my smelting supplies in it. Yeah, we're gonna need more nuggets here shortly. This is still warm. So let's pick this up out of here. And let's place it here, and we'll put let's cook some stuff while we're stuck in here. I don't have anything that'll go with the fruit. Oh, and the chicken is going bad, so let's put the chicken with the bush meat so I can go bad together. And then we can eat some of the fruit now, though, before it goes bad and kind of bolsters my fruit nutrition. And yeah, I could just make something with 4 turnips, but like I said, turnip. So let's change it up. We got turnips and parsnips. So in this case, the I guess you can say good food is the root of happiness. Oh, I wonder if they have potatoes in this game. I've never seen them. If they do, probably in another biome. Potatoes would be a good addition, I think. Spuds. This spud's for you. Okay, so the cooking is cooking. And I'm hearing all sorts of crash, bang, booms outside, so still soft copper. Let's see. So the cooking's almost done. Oh, okay. Let's put the firewood back. Hardened coppers. Okay, this is hard enough that I can do something with it, right? So it's still hot. I don't want to burn myself. So if we pick this up and then put a handle on it, that somehow immediately cools it off. But it's fully functional at that point. So we can do the same thing with the falks. And incidentally, there was a comment recently in my last video, because I mentioned that there was a falx, and it seems to be some type of made-up weapon named after one of the scientists in the lore, which there is a scientist or somebody in the lore that has that name, but a falx is an actual historical bladed weapon, which looks somewhat like this one. So yeah, they didn't make up, but they did reuse the name. So something tells me that somebody out there is a real big fan of falxes, and or just likes the sound of the name. Wouldn't be surprised if their last name's Falks. Right? So it's like Falks. Okay, so we got the food and the cooking pots done. And it is just, I'm kind of getting stir crazy. There's a lot of stuff I need to do, but I'd rather be doing it outside when I can, right? Look at that. It's daylight. Whoa! Whoa! We're done there. It'd be nice to have a proper door. But we're working toward it. Oh, jumping Jiminy. let's pick up the food, I think, and set it down. Whoa, where'd the food go? Did I lose it? Oh, up there on the ground storage. It says, no, it says that there's a serving in there. I just don't know why I can't see it right now. It looks like an empty cooking pot. But I definitely see, it says 1 serving of hefty turnip parsnip stew. So if I pick this up, oh, and there it is. Now I can see the food, and so it's just a bug, a glitch. If we put this back in here, and is it still warm enough to just start with coal? Let's give it a shot. It is cold. I mean, warm enough to start with sticks. So that's good. And then we'll swap out the coal. Add a few pieces. And we're going. You can see it's already like the crucible. We don't have to heat it all the way from scratch, right? It was still pretty hot from last time. I'll put this in here with the other smelting stuff. And grab a hammer and make a bunch more nuggets. So a hammer like so, or chunks like so. Bam, that is a mess of copper. In fact, it fills my inventory. So throw the hammer down for a second. Start throwing chunks, nuggets into storage. Yeah, we're set for a little while. How will I know it's done enough? I don't see the arrow. Grab some other smeltables that we can throw into our smeltable bin. The lead we can use in the crucible, but the quartz we will have to smelt in a bloomery, I think. I don't think I can do that in a crucible. We can give it a shot, I guess, but one thing at a time. It seems like it's white hot. Do I need to add more coal? Let's just pick it up and see what happens. I think I should be able to pour it. It wasn't telling me how much I have in it, though. Yeah, I can pour it. Okay. Crucible's instantly cooled off. Okay, so set that down. So we've got another pick cooling. We have an anvil done. We've got some more food ready. Really, at this point, I need things like I need to gather wood for firewood to make charcoal. I need to gather wood for building. I need to gather peat and clay. I need to be outside. There's probably a lot of berries out there waiting to be picked too. Okay, if there's not lots of lightning right by me, I think I'm gonna risk it. I think I'm gonna run out there and see what I can do. Oh, I don't need the tongs. I'm gonna see what I can do out there. Maybe get some stuff done while there's daylight. Because like I said, there's just so much to do. Let's go do it. Get rid of the pick. Don't want to die and then have it lost someplace. Yeah, we'll throw it in here for now. Same thing with my prospecting pick. And it looks like things have calmed down a bit out here. Wet. This is certainly wet. So, and of course, you know, to avoid getting wet, I will go into my raft and row. Because, you know, you don't want to get in the water and get wet, by golly. So, where to go? Oh, okay, but that's downwind. So the storm looks like it's passed a bit. So, you know, let's go over here. I'm kind of hoping that the bears and the wolves have more common sense than I do, and that they're staying indoors in weather like this. Yeah, I mean, animals have pretty good instincts. People don't, but animals do. So, ooh, some grain here. So rye's almost done. Is that right? Whoa! 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 Oh my gosh! I'm in a war zone. Move! And I'm out on the water in a raft. This, I have a sense I'm about to experience deja vu all over again, to quote Yogi Berra. Okay, move, 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 move. Okay. Okay, so the storm hadn't gone as far away as I thought. The system is telling me, get your butt back indoors. So, that's what I'm going to do before I get zapped. Okay. Now what? I mean, oh gosh. Oh gosh. So, I got food. It is 10:20 in the morning. I can't go outside. I'm soaking wet. Let's take a snooze. It's been a while since I slept. I don't want to sleep the whole 7 hours, but let's sleep a while. And then see maybe if the storm hasn't let up. Okay, let's try to get up. Okay, what time is it? Almost 6 o'clock p.m. It's quiet out there. Not that quiet. So it is raining. Still raining pretty solidly. What about the lightning? Is it past? It seems like it's past. Okay, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe, I mean, going to what I said a minute about animals, they have good instincts. Humans, not only do we not listen to our instincts, many times we've lost our instincts, we often go against common sense. So, after almost getting zapped last time, here I am doing exactly what I did before, but I might possibly get away with it, you know. So let's see if we can grab this rye. Oh, it's already marked. Good. So we'll let the other rye ripen. Go up here. Oh, berries. Nice. Don't mind if I do. The blackberry bushes in front of my house in real life are going gangbusters right now. I've been going out every other night for the past week and a half gathering berries, and my wife's been freezing them. Because earlier this year we went strawberry picking, and then we went raspberry picking, and so the family's kind of buried out, but they freeze well. So anyway, I don't see any hostile wildlife. That's good. And this is Pete. So say hi to Pete. Hi, Pete. And we'll go ahead and mine the peat. Grab a bunch of this stuff. Well, it's going to be a lot harder to mine now. Just taking a little nap. and napping my shovel head. Yeah, you gotta stay in prairie dog mode, but more importantly, I'm missing sticks. So gotta put a handle on shovel head. So let's do this. This is giving me some sticks. Good. Might as well cut down the tree while we're at it. Nice, nice, nice. I mean, it's... You know what's funny is that once I was able to smelt copper and get copper and start working toward the anvil and the forge, I figured that, you know, sometimes in the survival biz up to this point, it's kind of a hurry up and wait. You've done everything you can do, now you just gotta wait for something to finish so that you can move on to the next step. And I thought, yeah, now that I got this you know, now that I'm at this stage, that's not gonna happen again. No more of that for me, baby. It just, we got stuff to do, just go, go, go. And then the storm happens and I'm stuck indoors like, okay, now what? So I guess it's always possible. It's going to be getting dark out here soon. But at least I got a shovel now. And grab this peat. Sucking it all up. Keep looking out for bad guys. Hey. I'm not picking up the peat. Oh, yes. For whatever reason, peat only stacks in stacks of 32. Which means I need to get rid of something. Let's get rid of this ladder. Uh-oh. Looks like the lightning's back in the neighborhood. I do think that the game is realistic enough to actually simulate the distance of lightning. So you see a flash, start counting, you know, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Oh, yeah. I need to drop something else. Okay, let's just go with that. Anyhow, for every 2 count that you get from seeing the flash to hearing the thunder, that's... Oh, I just don't have no inventory. Every 2 count you see between the lightning and the thunder, that's roughly 1 mile. And if you live in a place that doesn't use miles, that would be 1.6 kilometers. So when you see a flash and you hear the boom almost instantaneously, as we saw, you need to get your butt indoors because you're going to get zapped. It is getting darker. Let's just make sure nothing else is ready to go. I gotta plant this thing. Ooh, it's almost ready. Plant this right by stuff that's almost ready. Okay. I don't want to be out here at dark. But I think that's what we'll call it for now. I mean, there's still a lot to do. The storm has got to pass. But we have an anvil now. I think the next step is to build a forge, and then we'll start making ingots, and then start forging the ingots and the useful stuff. That's all good cold or rainy weather stuff to do anyway, and it seems like we're in for a spell of that. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly did. A little excitement. I feel a little singed, but I hope you come back for the next episode. And until then, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.